Okay, so this is part two to kind of breaking down, how the magic got past Archangel Michael. If you haven't watched video one, it'll fill you in a little bit better on, why I decided to do like a video series on it. I've been on a bit of a journey with it and still working on it, right? So this is going to be longer than a minute video. If you need to speed my voice up, you can hit the button to do that. But this will find who it needs to. I'm not putting any hashtags on this. So if it found you, this may work. These techniques may work for you. Now, I promised you some techniques on how, I've been able to maneuver past the wall of crazy energy that continually just keeps getting slung at me. Um, I've had a lot of training. Part of that, will be explained in video one. In addition to, nearly 15 years of, seminary school and then exorcism school, I went through, psychic school, right? I've done levels 1 through 6 of the Anastasi system for psychic development. So I've had a lot of training, right? And what I noticed was, I was taught specific techniques, and I noticed, we're working a lot with the archangels, but this energy was getting right past Archangel Michael, and the whole thing came about. I was like, hey, how is this energy getting past you, man? You're Archangel Michael, and there was, his response, and that was is in video one, right? So I'm not going to rehash that, but I had to partner with archangels, and I had to come up with techniques and work at it consistently every single day to get over the hump. And I'll be honest, some days I still struggle. Like the other day, it was a rough day. It took me working at it consistently nearly the entire day to get, emotionally objective, right? You'll have some really rough days, so just be aware that once you start this, stimulus is going to start speeding up, because guess what? They realize, those negative emotions that, here's the thing, when you get in negative emotion mode, you emit some type of signal in the ether that makes these lower level entity energies want to feed off of you. Okay? You just ring the dinner bell for whatever negative fear-based energy entity attachment wants to come your direction. Now, when you start working on your spirituality and everything, you light up like a beacon in the spirit realm, right? That's why protection work is very important, because you're lit up like a Christmas tree, literally, to these things. They start coming at you right now. People have given it different name over the centuries. I am purposely leaving out the religious terminology because that get on my nerves so hard. You know, I've tested drove a zillion religious techniques from several religions, to be honest with you. These are the ones that are working for me so far. You take this how it resonates, take it or leave it. Maybe it'll help you out, right? Um, One, I had to get more connected with Source directly. I'm tired of having to do a zillion prayers, call upon this deity, that deity, whatever. Why can't we just tap into Source directly? So I started trying to figure out how to do that, right? Um, you know, because even though you're engaging the archangels, the truth is there are things that can get past an archangel. I explained that in video one. Came directly from Archangel Michael. Information did. So he answered the question. Took him a while, but he did answer the question. Um, you know, so okay, what do we do? Well, we can strengthen our own connection directly with Source, right? So technique one, you're going to sit there for about 5 to 7 minutes quietly and just breathe. Now, that's kind of hard to do, especially if you're like me and you got some spicy neurons happening, the ADHD. You're going to have every thought in your head under the rainbow pop in your head in that 5 to 7 minute time span, right? So, what I say, I actually say the phrase, I am. That's it. Now, a lot of people tack a little thing on the end of that. I am beautiful. I am pretty. I am smart. Scratch that. You are tacking an identity on that you may not be ready for. Okay? You got to start at step one somewhere, right? A lot of people are starting with the hardest technique possible and not really trying to get to the real connection there. Just say the phrase I am with your whole chest. That's it. Sit and breathe. Let all while the mental hamster wheel just start running and running and running and running and running. Eventually, you're just going to breathe in and out. That's it. You're not going to do any visuals. If you need to say I am more than one time every so many minutes, just repeat the phrase. Eventually, after about 5 to 7 minutes, the thoughts will start to slow down, and it's just you and your breath and your heartbeat. That's where you want to be. That's the sweet spot. Okay? That's technique 1. You can do that for about a week. See how that starts to improve your countenance. Okay, now what that's going to do is allow you to do technique 2 a lot easier. Now, technique 2 is to become the observer emotionally. Now, once you can get past technique 1 for about a week, you do it consistently at some point during the day for about 5 to 7 minutes. Then things are going to start to happen that's going to stimulate you emotionally. Be ready for it. Okay, now what's going to happen is you're going to get out of breath. You're going to start, maybe sometimes I would have real bad panic attacks, right? And I would be, and I would start breathing. What I've learned to do with that technique is pull myself back as a separate person. So part of me is watching myself freak out. It's almost like you're watching yourself. It's a little freaky, okay? At first when you try to do it. You're going to just sit and observe how your body's reacting to that negative stimulus, okay? Is it making you breathe hard? Is it giving you a headache? Become aware of what it's doing to your body, because that's what these things want to harvest. You're a harvest. You basically a dinner bell. Every time you have a negative emotion and reaction, these entity energies that are, if it's somebody slinging it at you, or if it's just found you because you're lit up like a Christmas tree spiritually, because you're working on yourself, right? So you're lit up. These things are attracted to you, whether somebody sent it or whether it just found you. You just rang the dinner bell, right? Intentionally start stimulating stuff around you to get you off your mental, right? When you start going to those negative emotions, now I'm preaching to the choir here. This is coming from experience. I am not Houdini here, right? This has just been trial and error and running the gauntlet every day of the week until I figured it out. Okay, this stuff really does work. So technique 1, you're gonna listen to your breath, and you're gonna learn to slow your brain down. Okay, you're gonna say I am, and sit there quietly for 5 to 7 minutes. That's it. Learn to feel what that feels like first. Then technique 2, you're going to become the observer emotionally. Every time you're stimulated emotionally in negative fashion, I want you to visualize you're pulling yourself back as a separate person. You're observing what negative emotions do to your body. That's technique 2, and you can do that for about a week. Okay? Once you get those 2 techniques down, I'm going to give you techniques 3, 4, and 5 to try to get around the bullshit, right? But those are critical. You're going to start to see some serious changes pretty quick, right? People are going to be like, what's wrong with you? They're not able to stimulate you like they're trying to, right? They're not able to piss you off as easy, right? You're going to start to observe, oh, this is doing something to my body. I'm becoming aware something's happening. Let me change my reaction. Let me not react at all. Let me become the observer. In every scenario, you're going to try to do that. Now, that's easier said than done. You'll have to try it a few times, and the universe will test you. So happy testing. This is your test day. This is your training day, right? Hope this helps. This is part 2. We'll have parts 3, 4, 5. We'll just keep doing this till we get the information out. Hope this helps. Be blessed.